Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here, and today we'll be continuing our Dota 2 progression series as we watch me play and learn the game and try to eventually not be a gigantic noob, if that's even possible. So today's video, it's going to be a little bit different than how we normally do it. Typically we're doing live commentary as we're playing a game. However, today I wanted to show you a pre-recorded match that I played as Warlock, and there's a couple of reasons for that. The first reason is it turned out to be a pretty good game, so I wanted to showcase that for you guys. The other reason though is that I open up a support here, and even though I end up doing very well and getting a bunch of kills, I still focus on support. So I wanted you to see me playing a supporting role, and I'd like to get feedback and critiques on that if at all possible. So one thing I would immediately say here is I'm opening up a support, and that's going to drastically change the way I play the lane. So I'm not focused on getting last hits at all. I'm keeping that for the guy in the lane who I'm considering the carry, and I'd like him to get the last hit so that he can get the gold. I feel that to be more important. That's sort of feedback that I've gotten from people. And one big problem that's happened, especially in these pug games, is we end up a lot of times with 2 carries in a lane, or even worse so, 2 melee carries in a lane, and then it becomes this impossible fight, not only against the enemy, but against your own teammate to try to get these last hits. So as a support, I'm not too worried about getting these items really fast to try to become overpowered. I'm more focused on harassing and denying XP from my opponent. So I'm going to be doing that in a few forms here. The first form is you're going to notice me doing some zoning or being really aggressive. I've come to find that I really enjoy Warlock as a supporting role, because I feel that early on, especially against this particular lane setup where we've got 2 melee opponents, I can be super aggressive and just poking and prodding and slowly whittling down their HP. And then when the time eventually comes for an engagement, if they decide to engage, they start off at a third or half health, and then all of a sudden, oh, they're not that in great of a situation. And here's a great example. I was able to poke and prod him quite a bit. They decide to engage here, which was probably a mistake on their part. And then we just got my damage over time. Now I narrowly escape here, as you can see. And I was able to pick up my healing potion, and then once we got rid of the first guy, my daunt killed him, we just turn around and take out this guy as well. And it's going to be, again, I believe, death by my daunt, which I absolutely love. I open up playing support, and I end up getting both the kills. You know, I mean, it's kill securing. It's unfortunate. I would have preferred that he would have gotten the kills in this sort of a situation, because he is the carry here. But nevertheless, a kill secure is a kill secure, and the dot managed to kill both of them while they were trying to run away. Alright, so the follow-up here, I'm going to grab the magic stick. I really like to get that somewhat early on, if at all possible. Also upgrade the flying courier there. And then the next move, it's either going to be the ring or the bracers. I guess we'll just see how much gold I end up getting in the not too distant future, and then sort of just take it from there. So I will say, opening up a support like I did, starting out with the courier, upgrading the flying courier, you know, using my gold for those things instead of items. Something I probably should have done right away is get observer wards, because you'll notice that we don't have any of those placed down. And actually we've got blue coming across to us. So you'll notice I don't have any of those placed down, which ideally, you know, that would be the case. And typically when I play supporting characters, like I've played, I believe it's Crystal Maiden, the Ice Girl, and I've played a few of the other supporting focus characters, which I find to be really good, especially in these single draft pug games, because a lot of people, especially at such a low level, a lot of people don't play support, so having a good support is really beneficial for the team, and I think this is a perfect game that exemplifies that. But anyways, the point is that a lot of times I do pick up the observer words right away. It just so happened that the community build for the Warlock that I had didn't suggest it, so I didn't for that reason. But I also know that that's not the smartest thing. Whatever the builds say, if I feel like I should be doing something, then I should probably just do it. I've got a mind of my own after all. I don't have to just rely on following the build T by T, note by note. Alright, so we're going to continue to poke and prod and be aggressive. He is being way too aggressive himself because he is very low. Need to be careful here. And I don't know if we're going to make chase or not, but he's just kind of chilling out there in the side jungle. And so far, we're clearly dominating the lane. That's partially due to my aggressive ranged play, but it's also because they have a lane set up once again with two melee characters, and this goes to show you, you know, why pugs, especially low-level pugs, can be so frustrating. Because if I was on the opposing team right now and I was going bottom lane as melee, and someone else melee went bottom lane, I would be furious. Because unless we're against two melee as well, we're at a distinct disadvantage at the start. Now, I'm sure there are certain heroes that can counteract that, but in this situation, that's clearly not the case. They're at a huge disadvantage to our lane setup, and the fact that I'm ranged and playing as aggressive as I am as well. And again, you know, pushing too hard, gets the dot, Force gets the kill, and then I'm going to try to body block here. He's actually trying to chase Lycanthrope there. Lycanthrope, how do you pronounce that? He's the werewolf guy, that's what matters. And again, placing down the heals because, hey, why not? We're support after all. Gonna go into the side shop now and purchase the next item. And unfortunately, you can't even see that stuff on the bottom. I guess the replay thing isn't fully featured as much as I'd like it to be. It's also unfortunate that you can see all the opponents there in the fog. So let me know what you guys think too. If you guys prefer the live commentary, I think a lot of people do in certain situations, then I'll be sure to do that for you. But I just thought this was a really great game, and again, I really wanted to show you a supporting role by myself, and I think that's going to be the other kill there. Within the first 7 minutes, 4 kills for supporting Warlock. And it's funny because this is how a lot of my games as Warlock in these low levels have been going. I think that's why I'm so enamored by him as a hero. I've had incredible success playing him support. Okay, there's a caveat to that. I've had incredible success playing him support with a good lane partner. Now, this is the flip side of this coin here. You know, I talk about playing as support, or another example is playing as an initiator. You know, someone who's good at starting team fights. I guess like Faceless Void or something could be a good example for that. So, those guys are fantastic, and if you can get a good player in those positions in PUG games, especially when everyone's queuing up solo and stuff, it's great. But the problem is if you're playing with teammates who just aren't good, or don't understand the roles and what they should be doing, it's so infuriating. It is so infuriating. So a great example, if I'm playing a support Warlock or a support CM, and my lane partner isn't aggressive when it's time to engage, then all of a sudden what ends up happening is I'll have a lot of situations where they end up running away from fights, and then I just get ganked because I'm not very good at, like, Warlock, I'm not very good at escaping. What can I do? I can heal myself. Once I have my ultimate, I can call him down to help out. There is the slow, which I don't end up leveling up at all in this one, because I just decided to focus on the other abilities, and again, this is part of what the build suggested. But yeah, I mean, it's still nevertheless pretty hard to escape when you're playing a support. A lot of times you need the assistance of those carries, but yeah, it can be really frustrating, and that's sort of the downside to playing this type of a role when you're playing in PUGs. And that leads me to another thing that I wanted to talk about with you guys, and that's the notion that I would like to kind of start announcing when I'm doing games, and hopefully get some people who are, you know, relatively decent players to play with me rather than just queuing up with randoms all the time. So I thought about how I could do that, and I think the best thing would probably be if I were to sort of announce on Twitter whenever I'm playing, and then hopefully we could get some people to, you know, hook up with and queue up with some games with. That'd be absolutely fantastic. I think that's what I would like to do. And I believe sometime soon I start to pick up those observation wards. Once again, I'm fully aware of how important those are, so trying to make sure that I have those is definitely pretty key. And I'll also say that I feel like I extremely tunnel visioned this game. I was solely focused on bottom lane. Now, admittedly, there was a lot going on bottom lane. There will continue to be a lot going on bottom lane throughout the rest of this game here. So I guess it's not the worst of things, but this is really funny, guys. Watch this. So he's just chilling out back there. We're like, oh, hey, how's it going? Say hello to my little friend. And then again, with the kill, I don't know. It's just so funny. God, I love playing as Warlock. I think he's fantastic. All right, and the greatest thing too about the ultimate is it really helps. I feel like it helps push tower once it's out. You know, you're able to engage with these guys, engage with the creep, take them out pretty easily, and then just push on the tower. And I do believe we end up dropping the tower here.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Pretty simply. Quick question for you guys: the fortification, is that damage nullification or is it just reduction? Like, I don't know. It feels to me like it's a complete. It cancels out damage, but it might just be a heavy reduction in damage, like 99% or something like that. If you guys could let me know if you still do any damage when things are fortified, or if there's no damage whatsoever, that way I can know, is there any point in attacking it? Even if it's minimal damage, I guess there would still be a point in attacking it, but if it's no damage, then there's really no point to attack it while it's fortified. So that's sort of basically what I'm looking to know here. So if you guys could let me know, that would be fantabulous. And I will be heading back. I believe my current objective is to go to the secret shop. Yes, that is what it is. I was going to the secret shop to pick up an item. And which item was it? Ah, yes, getting my boots. Wonderful. So those are the mana replenishing boots. They do AoE mana replenishing to you and any allies within range. And now is finally the point where I decided to get some observer rewards. A little late, I know, 11 minutes into the game. Probably could have done that a bit earlier. Probably would have been great. Oh well, what can you do? So the observation awards, I end up just sticking these to my side again, sticking with our consistent theme of tunnel visioning on bottom lane and not even looking at mid or top. Luckily enough, they seem to handle themselves pretty well. And we're going to move down, and yep, there we go. I'll just do some of that. I was going to heal him, but apparently that was not necessary. And then once again, we get the kill. I mean, talk about complete domination of the lane. At this point, they're just sort of a little SOL. And you're going to notice there, we actually do have a couple guys coming up behind us, and I don't remember how this played out. I think we ended up doing all right, though. Alright, so here we go. We come to the engagement. I see Ursa coming up on us, and then Crazy Ghost Lady. So I'm going to drop the damage over time on him. In retrospect, I probably should have tossed a heal on myself at that situation. Because I didn't do that, and I ended up at such low HP, I had to just retreat. So I ended up retreating, but then I heal myself up and go back. I know that I do something like that. So we're going to toss a heal on him, because he is in a much better position than I am to actually turn around and engage. And then we're just gonna kind of chill back a little bit. And I wait for the cooldown, heal myself up, and then we stay back in the fray. And I'm constantly trying to make sure that I'm staying within XP range as well. Although that's a bad example of that, because I believe I was just out of XP range. I believe XP range is just a tad bit more than what you can physically see on a screen. I think it's a little bit more than that. I believe that's the case. I'm sure someone can give me like exact measurements of what XP range is, though. And then here we go, our buddy Ursa, just chilling out here. I'm not sure what he was thinking, but say hello to my little friend. Once again, theme of the day.
Your pen shall make a fine rod.
Theme of the day. Indubitably. Alright, so I just got that little item that does, I believe that adds some mana regeneration, which is nice to have. And we do have our boots to pop up our mana again. I just love how versatile the Warlock is. I love that he's got this dot that's also a heal. It seems absolutely fantastic. And the Q ability are those chains which connect damage between enemies, and then my ultimate obviously calling down my fiery demon of death and destruction. And then we're gonna pick that item up next, which is really good AoE group heals. Also heals creep as far as I remember, which is really nice to have. But yeah, points of improvement that I could take a look at just from watching this replay. Number one, once again, completely tunnel visioning, not even looking top or mid lane. I think that's something I probably should have done. Town portal, scrolls, town portal, scrolls, town portal. Yes, yes, I need to do that more often. I need to be carrying town portal scrolls. People are telling me you must always have one, especially when you're playing. Well, I think especially when you're playing carry, so you can help with ganks. But I guess it could the same be said, especially for when you're playing support, so you can help assist when people are getting ganked, or what. Although it's funny because I continue to say that, but we're getting to the point where I'm not so much a support and I'm actually kind of capable of laying the smack down. I know especially once Warlock gets his ultimate, and then there's that staff item that increases the effectiveness of your ultimate. I think what it does, it lets you get down 4. You're able to place down 4 of those guys instead of just 2, which is just hilarious. And he clearly laid the smack down there, and then I joined the fun because they've got another buddy over here, so I think I eventually get over there. Where the heck am I? I'm making my way over, taking my sweet time. We're gonna get the final, oh, missed the killing blow, that's a shame. But we still got more fights going on over here, so we're gonna turn around and help with this situation. And because I am level 9 now, and we've been so incredibly fed, unstoppable double kill Wicked 6. Oh man. Like I said, this was a fantastic game. And there's the real one. Turns out this was a mistake for him. He thought, yeah, I'll get the quick kill on Warlock. Yeah. That didn't end up happening. And there I am with the bad manners. I don't know why I did that. That was really mean. Boy. It was a fun game, needless to say. Fun game, no question about that. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, even though I've been tunnel visioning bottom lane, there has been obviously a lot going on in the bottom lane. Already with 8 kills, just before the 17-minute mark. And we're about to push down that second tower as well. Or at least we're, I believe, about to do some damage to it. I kind of wish this replay system, if there's something else that there's another functionality that I don't know about, but I kind of wish the replay system didn't show you where the opponents were in the dark so that you could sort of see exactly what I saw during the game. So this is a funny situation. So we're in a spot where we're like, oh crap, we're getting chased right now by 3. We're kind of in trouble. I guess it's time to retreat. And so we're kind of running out of here. Things are looking pretty scary, but then notice we've got support coming across the lane. This is exactly what a good team will do. We've got support coming across the lane, so I'm like, okay, it's time to turn around and engage. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna heal up, we're gonna turn around and engage. We're gonna drop that, and sniper gets a killing blow. I run away and just barely escape. I turn around for one last shot there to make sure he's finished off. And a good team will sustain you. Just like that, guys. A good team. That's what happens when you get lucky, I guess you could say, when you get lucky with the people you're placed with in a pug. And then the final item that I go to pick up here is the staff, the ultimate increasing staff, which costs like, I think it's like 4,000 or so gold. It's quite a hefty price. Each individual piece, I believe, is at least 1,000, so it's got to be 4,000 to 5,000 at the least.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And then we've got to disconnect at this point, and then the game's pretty much wrapped up after that.
Middle tower is under attack.
We just sort of steamroll into their base, and it's just kind of a lull show after that. And something else I've wondered about, so I've heard the reasoning behind it. I've heard that they don't have a forfeit button because they don't want people to give up. But I have to say, that can also be very frustrating. Maybe this is part of the reason that people really like Dota. I find it frustrating where there's games that it's fairly obvious that you've lost. Now, I feel like Dota is definitely a game that you can come back from. You know, if you get a good team fight and you knock everyone out. Oh gosh, this was like a 3-minute pause. We're gonna cut this real quick. Be right back. And we are back. Okay, so as I was saying, I feel like Dota is one of those games where if you get a really good team fight, you can turn around, you can push the opponent's base, take down their towers and barracks, and potentially go for the ancient and get a comeback. But man, sometimes there are situations where it's just, you know, a game's pretty much lost, but then you're playing for another 20 minutes. And that's really annoying. So I do wonder what people think about that. I wonder if people think that they should add a forfeit button, or is that part of what makes Dota great? Let me know what you guys think about that. I'd love to hear your opinions. Oh, Ursa, normally I'd be terrified of you in my face, but you're so underleveled and I am so fed, so I'm the opposite of scared in that situation.
Radiant's bottom
When you're
tower
feeling
is
tanky as Warlock
Radiant's bottom barracks
compared to an
are under
Ursa,
attack.
yeah, you know something's, you know the game's in your favor at that point, basically. And that's exactly the sort of situation I'm talking about. Like, when I'm feeling tanky against an Ursa as Warlock,
Radiant's bottom
things have gone south for the other team, and they're not very likely to turn around. So it'd be, I don't know, I'd just be interested to see what people think about the lack of a forfeit button in certain situations. And you know, they could even do it so that, hey, you can't forfeit before the 20-minute mark. I mean, I guess this is a great example. You know, we're at 20 minutes in this game. It's pretty obvious which way the tide's going. So
Radiant's middle tower
allow for a forfeit, 10 or 15 minutes even, I don't know. Just my opinion, but we'll wrap up this video. You guys know how this is going to end. That is that. We win. We just sort of dance around in their base for another 3 to 4 minutes before we take out the Ancient, but it's a pretty
Radiant's middle tower is
secured
under attack.
victory at this point. So thank you guys for watching my Dota 2 progression video. I realize that this is a little bit different than I've done in the past. I'd like you to let me know if you like this or the live format better. Not adverse to doing either one of them. I know sometimes people like live because they feel it's more, I don't know, real. I guess that's a good terminology for it. They feel it's more exciting. But it's also, I also feel like the commentary is kind of crap when you do a live game because you bounce in and out of focusing on the commentary and focusing on the game. So a lot of times, you know, I'm so focused on an engagement. So here's a great example. During a huge fight like this, although it's a pretty one-sided fight at this point, but during a huge fight, a lot of times I'll just stop talking completely. And I don't know, maybe people love that. It's a reprieve for my incessant talking, I suppose. That's a good way to look at it. Alright guys, well thanks again for watching the Dota 2 Progression series. We'll be keeping this up as I continue to play the game, try to learn what the heck I'm doing, try to focus on playing support by getting more wards, maybe more scrolls, and definitely not tunnel visioning on just one lane either. That'd be nice. Even though the result was positive, that's not the best way to play. I know that. I'm aware. If you guys like the content, please subscribe, and as always, keep watching and keep owning.